What's going on, sports fans? Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody has had an amazing start to their week. And I sure know that you had an amazing start to your week if your team won it on either Sunday or Monday. So let's dive right in. We are officially past week one. Week one is in the books of the NFL, which is crazy because it's like we were all just so building up the anticipation to finally have the NFL here, have games going on, and now it is going down. Now, the good news thus far is that it seems like things are going off without a hitch, which who could ask for more or anything better? We want to make sure that the NFL continues in good standing. We haven't heard anything crazy about coronavirus. No big names have landed on that new reserve list that we have to have for coronavirus. And we know that for precautionary measures, teams have the ability to now pull up from their practice squad, and they have an extended practice squad. So let us know, how did your team do this weekend? Are you excited? Are you happy? Are you pissed? Were you expecting something different? Now, if you had a chance to join us Sunday for our Bucs pregame show, you saw I had both teams, the Tampa Bay Bucks as well as the New Orleans Saints, breaking 30-plus points. And I also had the Bucks taking the W by a field goal. Now, that wasn't exactly the case. Bucks fell to the Saints, unfortunately, 23-34. When you look right here, even though Tampa Bay kind of had the better numbers, Tom Brady with more yards, carries, everything, the Bucks numbers added up a lot more better than the Saints numbers, but the Saints were the ones who ended up pulling it through in the end. Now, the biggest conversation that took place revolving around the Saints versus the Buccaneers was the fact that not only do you have two quarterbacks over the age of 40, but you have two amazing quarterbacks over the age of 40. Clearly, you don't play to 40 if you're not putting up great numbers. Now, aside from that, we know that the Saints usually top the division of the NFC South, but the Bucks and every Bucks player as well as staff and personnel say this should be the year that the Bucks take that number one spot in the NFC division. And more importantly, this should be the year that the Bucks finally see playoffs. Now, the conversations revolving around Tom Brady versus Drew Brees and what was going to go down Sunday, aside from what everybody expected to go down on Sunday, we take a quick gander at the stats that both Tom Brady as well as Drew Brees pulled up. And when you look at the statistics, Tom Brady had 239 in comparison to Drew Brees' 160. They both had two touchdowns, but it was the two interceptions on Sunday that really kind of put the nail in the coffin for the Tampa Bay Bucks. And Tom Brady was not happy about that. Now, Bruce Arians kind of spoke very lightly after the game to say, look, there was a lot of mental errors taking place there. There was miscommunications being a huge part of it. And more importantly, fans did not expect to see two turnovers out of Brady. I think it was almost 2013 statistics show was the last time that he had multiple interceptions in a game. So for the biggest correction that the Bucks needed was to minimize turnovers, not play against yourself. You guys heard me repeat it for the press conferences all throughout the past couple of weeks, including training camp, that every player said this is the year that we don't work against ourselves. And unfortunately, on Sunday, we basically saw them work against themselves. Now, of course, there were still positives as well as the negatives, but in terms of what Tom Brady thought about his first performance, and aside from him kind of hanging his head low because of those two interceptions, let's hear Tom Brady's thoughts after the game on Sunday.
I think certainly poor execution, and it's what it comes down to. It's a game of execution, and obviously they, made more plays than we did, and made some just bad, terrible turnovers, and it's hard to win, turning the ball over like that. So that's I obviously got to do a lot better job. I mean, I think that, anytime you turn the ball over like we did, we had opportunities out there to make plays, and it just came up short. So there's no excuses, and we're the only ones that could do something about it. The Saints kind of play how they always play. They did a good job on offense. We hung our defense out to dry, on some short fields with not moving the ball, not, doing very well on third down at certain times. Not the turnovers really hurt us. And, got to clean that up for next week. We got to do a lot better job.
Now, although this is not the performance we expected from Tom Brady, you guys can see it all over his face right there that was probably more disappointing to him than anybody else, including his newfound fan base and probably some old Patriot fans that are still just diehard Tom Brady fans. Now, more importantly, they had a strong start. They had, Chris Godwin had this 29-yard breakaway, and then Tom Brady was the one who actually ran in a 9-yard rushing touchdown himself. So when this game first kicked off, we did not expect these results. And more importantly, even Coach Arians said when he was asked in his press conference after, like, was there anything leading up to this game that may have made you question if this would have been the possible outcome? And Coach Arians said, absolutely not. The way that we've been practicing, this is probably the last outcome I would have expected. Not particularly the loss, but the way that we lost. Now, when it comes to the Bucs defense, just like last year, you can rely on them to be the ones to pull through. They still had outstanding numbers. Devin White as well as Levante David put up amazing tackles. I think they combined for 11 nearly, but it cannot come down to wearing out your D. And Brady even said it himself there. They kind of hung them out there to dry. So we know that there's going to be key pointers heading into this week's practices that already took place starting this morning that these guys are going to start working on to have a better turnaround when it comes down to the Panthers. But aside from the offensive weapons that Brady has, he just needs to get more comfortable with, because there was miscues between him and Mike Evans out there that was costly in one of the interceptions. You have a strong wide receiver group. You have a dominant tight end group. But more importantly, where the biggest growth and building needed to come in was that running back group, And we know that they made some moves this offseason as well as during training camp to really load up that running back group. We know that Coach Arians said Rojo was going to be his guy regardless, but then you got LaShawn McCoy, then you have Leonard Fournette. So what were Coach's thoughts on his running back group when it came in to this Sunday's Week 1 matchup versus the Saints?
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to get your thoughts on positives and negatives that you saw with the run game yesterday.
Well, I thought Rojo was a very positive. I thought and Leonard, they both ran the ball well. Negative, we did not block our tight ends did not block the edge very well, that was a big part of our game plan, and we got beat at it. We were out physical, and I thought our defense was more physical than their offense, but their defense was more physical than our offense, and we can't allow that to happen.
Do you feel confident in how Leonard Fournette, like his progress with how quickly he came to the team and to play yesterday, and what do you expect to see with him in this coming Sunday's game?
I think his role will continue to increase. Rojo, I thought, had a really decisive day, ran hard, and made yards when there were no yards to be made a couple of times. So, Leonard's role will increase, and we'll just see how much.
Now, we know Rojo had the most carries in the running back group throughout the game, but Leonard Fournette wasn't too far behind. He had 5 receptions that entire game, but I'm sure we will see his role increase, as Coach said there. But more importantly, there is a lot of talent on this team, which means it's just going to take some more practice, some more time, and some more team building, if you will, so that everybody's on the same page. And no, Coach Arians even said that initially Tom Brady made the right call on that interception where him and Mike Evans had that miscommunication. So it's just the fact that they need to dive in a little bit deeper. They need to build that chemistry. They need to be able to read each other more. And Chris Godwin earlier today on his press conference basically said the same thing, that it comes down to miscommunication. For quote, he said, that's kind of where chemistry comes in, just understanding. 1, guy's body language. 2, just making sure we're on the same page in terms of read. Godwin also continued to say it's not just about learning guys, it's us learning, or it's not just about Brady learning the guys, but it's about us learning him. We have to understand the type of things that he likes versus certain coverage versus certain leverage, and make sure these option routes are easier for everyone to complete. So we will see what takes place, and everybody on the same note, everyone in unison on the Bucs team and staff says, look, we're turning the page. We're already focused on week 2, where they have another division face-off hosting the Panthers at 1 p.m. on Sunday. You can catch us for all of that coverage this coming Sunday, starting at probably between 11 and 12. Can they make a comeback? We will find out in just a couple of days. Now, stick with us as we head to a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we break down some NBA and NHL, both in prime time playoffs. It's heating up in both the divisions. Finally, the NBA heads over into their first Eastern Conference Finals. Stick with us really quickly.
One of the things I love about Bass Pro is they have 3 great ways to shop.
You can head into one of their awesome stores, visit BassPro.com, or get great gear from that catalog Johnny Morris sends out. Hi, here's your package. Bass Pro Shops, where commitment, passion, and the great outdoors all come together.
Why would you shop anywhere else?
All right, sports fans, welcome back. So as we dive into the NBA, we have to start off with a massive congratulations as Miami is facing off with the Boston Celtics for the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 1 started at 6:30 p.m. earlier, and last I checked the score, the Celtics were up by nearly double digits. So I'm interested to see what's currently going down before halftime. I'm pretty sure they're probably at halftime by now. Who do you guys think will move on to the finals? Who do you want to see move on to the finals? And as for other people reaching that next notch of success, the Western Conference Finals are still being determined as there was a forced Game 7 between the Clippers and the Nuggets, which tips off at 9 p.m. tonight. Let us know who you guys will think will make it into that final round. Who do you want to see facing off for that big old trophy? Now, another quick congratulations goes in as we finally have someone contesting for that Stanley Cup. The Dallas Stars last night. Look, this was a great game to watch. They were behind by 1 for a majority of the game. Then the second period, the Vegas Golden Knights knocked it up another notch. And then before you know it, it was a 2-0 lead for Vegas. Then somehow in the third period, Dallas just crawls back in there. They push it into overtime. And in overtime, they seal the deal and stamp their ticket to the Stanley Cup. The celebration on the ice was insane. And more importantly, the Dallas's goalie has been playing for, I think somebody mentioned 16 seasons, well over 30, but what he did in the net, what he's done to help his team get this far has been absolutely phenomenal. Jamie Benn was a big pull through as the team captain for those guys last night. So massive congratulations to Dallas. Now we are moments away, probably roughly 5 minutes to be absolutely specific, from figuring out who is taking it in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, Tampa Bay Lightning have an opportunity to stamp their ticket to the Stanley Cup tonight, as that puck will drop here shortly. And they had an amazing Game 4 on Sunday. So I wouldn't be shocked if they were able to secure it right now in Game 5. Everything that they, were dealing with when it came to Game 3, all the fallbacks. Now, you guys have to remember they were playing without Alex Killorn, who got ejected in Game 2 and suspended for Game 3. Braden Point found himself injured in the bottom of the second period in Game 2 as well. So playing without Braden Point as well as Alex Killorn are two hard things to do, not because this team doesn't have enough talent or depth, because they still found a way to come from a deficit to get back up there, nearly tie off the game, but then the Islanders were able to just secure it at the end of the third period. But just the rhythm that's out there when you have certain guys and the capabilities, like the things that Braden Point does on the ice is just something that only Braden Point can do. The same way there's only certain things that Nikita Kucherov can do. So you have guys that just have this unique skill set that's only going to hone in on them and be their craft and going to go down in fame with them. And we saw that, but the fact that the Lightning were able to rally as hard as they did for Game 3, and they only fell short 5-3, but that fifth goal came as an empty netter at the end of the game when Coach Cooper had 6 men on the ice and pulled the goalie. So when you kind of look at the add up here and the opportunities that the New York Islanders have had in order to gain those advantages, it really does look like Tampa Bay is the more wholesome, stronger team. So both teams are super hungry. New York Islanders want to force a Game 6. Tampa Bay Lightning want to have an opportunity to stamp their ticket to the Stanley Cup and move on, rest their legs for a little bit before facing off with Dallas. So let us know who you guys will think will take it tonight. All in all, we're in Tampa Bay, so you guys know where I'll be going nuts for tonight. We'll see if the Bolts can secure the deal later. Stick with us as we go to another quick commercial break, and when we get back, we break down some MLB updates, and then we take it across the pond for a couple of things because they're figuring some things out when it comes to their fan base heading into this 2020 to 2021 season.
I'm not picking it up. You pick it up.
I'm not picking it up.
Well, somebody's got to pick it up.
I'll pick it up. They're clean. 'Cause my hand is clean. Oh yeah, I'm Charmin clean. That's how I know they're clean.
Charmin Ultra Strong is woven like a washcloth and just cleans better.
Yeah, I'm Charmin clean.
The kid does have a point.
My hand is clean. Yeah.
Enjoy the go with Charmin. And for an extra clean finish, try Charmin Flushable Wipes.
All right, guys, welcome back. So for our quick MLB updates, the MLB and the MLBPA have come to an agreement that in order to have a successful playoff season, they want to commit to the bubble format. We've seen that the bubble format is very successful as the NBA is getting ready to move on to their finals and finish out their season that they had to restart and get through, as well as the NHL. And if I haven't said it before, or the only reason I would mention it is if anything massively changed, but the NHL is having success as well between the bubble in Toronto and now everybody being in Edmonton. There's been 0 positive COVID-19 tests. So we saw that they were juggling and having a bit of a hot mess situation in the MLB. A lot of guys catching coronavirus, a lot of people ending up on that IL list, and then it was just madness, postponing games, postponing series. So yes, I think everybody should be in agreement that bubble format is the way to go in order to get through these seasons. Now, as we move forward, we've got the Bundesliga League, who's contesting no away fans coming into those stadiums. They just want to minimize the risk. So when it comes to traveling, we know that people are not going to quarantine before heading to a stadium to cheer on their favorite team. So, I mean, all in all, that actually makes the most sense. They also want to cut out all alcohol in the stadium, and that I can understand too. One of 2 reasons. Whenever we eat or drink, we have to pull our mask down in order to do so. And then the more alcohol any of us have in our system, the less we want to pull that mask back up on our face. And then once you're drunk enough, let's all be serious. That mask will be all the way off, probably lost and underneath the stands that you are sitting in. So no alcohol is probably a good idea when it comes to that. And if you guys have never watched the chaos that can take place in a freaking football, FUT, arena or a stadium, yeah, it's absolute madness in there. So it's legit a drinking show featuring soccer taking place on the pitch. So let us know your thoughts. What would happen, or how would you feel if we adopted that idea here, when fans start coming into the stands for the NFL games, and when the NHL returns and officially kicks off their next season in December? How would you feel about fans being allowed back in arenas and stadiums, but no alcohol and no away fans? Let us know your thoughts. Comment below or shoot us a message. We're going to break that down a little bit further on Friday. And as for our last key information of the night, Arsenal captain decided he's going to extend his contract and stick around Arsenal. We know the transfer market has created a lot of chaos across the pond, but we're actually going to dive in a little bit deeper this Friday on everything taking place across the pond, because between Bundesliga, La Liga, and everything else going on over there, there's been some major roster changes that just need to be talked about, need that opportunity and that platform to be dove in a bit deeper. Guys, this puck's about to drop for Tampa Bay in a few short minutes. We've got NBA finals between 9 p.m. Clippers and Nuggets. We've got Celtics and Miami Eastern Conference round 1 taking place right now, probably coming back from halftime. There's a lot of sports going on. We're already heading into week 2 of the NFL. I hope everybody has an amazing week filled with sports, filled with camaraderie, and more importantly, I will see everybody Friday at 8 p.m. Stay safe, stay sane, stay kind, stay compassionate. And I will catch you guys Friday at 8 p.m. Don't forget to comment below and send us you guys' thoughts on all the things I suggested earlier today. See you guys on Friday.